So right off the bat, you probably look at this and think, this looks a little bit different than the problems we've been doing, because there's only 2 terms and not 3. But let's take a look and see if we can find a GCF. So I notice there's no x here and there's x here, but they don't have an x in common. So there's not going to be an x in the GCF. But what number can multiply to both 12 and 27? And so I think to myself, okay, well, 12 can be 1 times 12. It can be 2 times 6. It can be 3 times 4. So can 12 multiply to get 27? No. Can 6 multiply to get 27? Nope. How about 4? Nope. But how about 3? Yeah, 3 times 9 is 27. So my GCF is 3, right? And what I did is I listed the factors of 12, and I just found the greatest one that also multiplied to 27. So I'm going to pull out my GCF of 3. And 3 times what is 12? 3 times 4 is 12. This is 4x squared minus 3 times 9 is 27. Okay, so yeah, this looks a little bit different. Let's see if we can figure it out using what we know, though. If you remember, when I had problems with 2 terms before, notice that there's no term with an x, right? Like if you compare it to other problems, like here there's a term with an x squared and a term with no x. In the other problems, and a term with an x squared and a term with an x and a term with no x. So what's missing here is the term with the x, and I'm going to write it like this: plus 0x minus 9. Okay, so I'm actually ready to factor here. So let's see if we can figure this out. Now, I haven't put a 4 in the front for you before, and the reason is a 4 is actually trickier than, say, a 2 or 3 or a 5. And the reason it's trickier is because 2 numbers that multiply to 4 could be 4x times x, or it could be 2x times 2x. Now, I look at the format of this problem, and hopefully, you're remembering when the last time, let's find it, the last time you had problems like this, and that's on page 65, and it was called difference of squares, right? When you had these terms with 2 problems, and if you remember, it always ended up with an answer like this, like x plus 4, x minus 4, x plus 9, x minus 9. So it ended up with 2 answers that were kind of the same, except that the sign was different in the middle. And so that actually hasn't changed here. So I'm right away, when I see this, I'm going to think, okay, well, it's not going to be 4 and 1, because I need these 2 parentheses to be kind of the same. So it's going to be 2x and 2x. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. So I got that. Now, I need these 2 numbers, just like always, to multiply to this number. Now, I've put a negative here for you. We haven't talked about negatives, okay? But remember, we can remember from the structure of our problems that I'm probably going to end up with a plus here and a minus here, right? And what are 2 numbers that multiply to 9? It would be 3 times 3. And look what happens here. 2x times x, that's 4x squared. 2x times negative 3, that's negative 6x. 3 times positive 2, that's plus 6x. And this is negative 9. And when I combine these like terms, that's 0. So I get 4x squared minus 9, which is exactly what I want. Okay, so this is actually the answer here. Okay, now this definitely probably felt like something new, but I want to emphasize to you, I actually just used some skills and knowledge we already had to kind of figure it out.